and gentlemen, may the 4th be with you, because tonight it's Podzilla After Dark, filmed somewhere a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. These are the adventures of the Star Trek Enterprise, whose mission is to drink this whiskey. Hold on a second. Be right back.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Yeah, boy, they picked a bad night.
Is it peanut butter at least?
It is, and boy, did they pick a bad night to start with us. You'll find out what I mean here in a second. My name is Shannon Young. I'll be doing the show with you tonight. I'll be hosting, as always. With me, of course. Jesse, did you know that life as a whole is meaningless to me? Jesse Kimball, ladies and gentlemen, Thursday Night Delight.
What? Why is life meaningless?
Moving on to Lindsay Wolfgong's here with us tonight.
Yes, I'm here, and I have a feeling there's a cat in my closet that shouldn't be there.
I'll tell you what I got in my closet: skeletons and regrets. Double H.
I want to do a bit from the McLaughlin group from SNL, but I can't think of what it is other than "You're insane, Shannon."
Wrong. And joining us this week,
I am perfectly sane,
because we are talking about Star Wars. It's the man himself, Tanner Calvert.
I'm here now.
Who sounds like a droid.
That's great. That's perfect.
Tonight's show. Tonight's Podzilla 1985 After Dark on the Podzilla 1985 network, celebrating Star Wars all month long, is brought to you by two sponsors. Our first sponsor tonight, once again, we want to thank the folks over at Old Smoky Gatlinburg, Tennessee Peanut Butter Whiskey for providing me the courage I need to get through this show. We'd also like to thank an actual sponsor. This is true. We have a real sponsor. I'm not making this up. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Heartland Gaming Convention, June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The AC Bronze Arena, Cape Girardeau. Hey, this is no joke. We're going to be there. Not only will Gaming Grounds be there in an official role, but Podzilla 1985 has also been invited to the gaming convention. Basically given free reign.
Do a show?
Yeah, free reign. Do what you want is what we were told. And they want to sponsor the podcast, so...
That is right before I leave for New York, especially if you do it on the first is a Friday or Saturday.
Saturday.
It's a Saturday, right?
Yeah.
I could be down for that.
Absolutely.
I could do a Saturday night show.
Yeah,
Yours truly is running a Smash Brothers tournament.
That's true.
At that convention
We'll
on
be all
Saturday,
over.
June 1st.
We'll be all over that convention.
Is this just video games or is it gaming?
That weekend off.
I thought you were signed up for this.
Both, Hunter.
No, I'm not.
It's both.
Are you sure?
Why don't we do
Unless he signed me up and didn't tell me.
a plays one shot
Or
while
you
we're
did?
there?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that I told you about this convention and that you...
You did tell me about it, and his form confused the crap out of me, so I did not fill it out.
I think he thinks you're signed up. I'll talk to him and see what's going on, but we'll figure it out.
This is great.
Either way.
This is great content for the podcast. This is really going to sell them on being a sponsor of the show.
Fuck the audience. Fuck them. And hey, guys, and we want to see you at Heartland Gaming Convention.
I'm crazy at this point.
June 1st and 2nd at the AC Bronze Arena in Cape Girardeau. Come see your favorite people from Podzilla 1985 and go fuck yourself. I don't know you anything. All right.
Jesus Christ, shit.
I have one shot I would really love.
Fire.
I have a one shot I would really love to run for that I think you guys would enjoy. We'll talk more about it later, but that would be a good time.
I talked to Chris Elfrink is running this convention. Jesse and I are very familiar with him. Lonnie is very familiar with him. Chris was always a competitor. He has Elf's Attic, which is a game and hobby retailer. He does the convention circuit. I've never had a problem with Chris. I've always liked him. Lonnie, maybe not, but I've never had an issue with him. And that's not just because he might be listening to the show. That's the God's honest truth, and I only speak the gospel. He came to me and asked if we wanted to be part of this convention, and I said absolutely. Gaming Grounds would on a store level because we haven't done the convention circuit in a while, and I figured it was time to get back in the swing of things. And he came in today, and we were talking about it, and we talked about the podcast, and he invited us on and asked to sponsor, and I said absolutely. We haven't had a legitimate sponsor in a while because peel back the curtain a little bit for everybody listening, I hate sponsorships. I hate money. Ask Jesse. He had to pull my teeth to get me to agree to Patreon when we originally did it.
That is true.
I don't like it. I don't.
And then I just
They did it without my
Shannon never
permission.
Said, Let's do it.
Yeah.
I just did it.
Yeah. And then Ethan abused it, or abused the email at least, and got so many.
That had nothing to do with Patreon.
That had nothing to do with
was just like
that was just Ethan abusing
I created
it.
a domain and I set up an email forwarding system because that was an old Podzilla bit for those that haven't been around a while. You could contact us at literally anything at Podzilla1985.com, whatever
That's
you want.
right.
And I could see, what address it got sent to and everything.
Yeah.
And then I had to stop doing that because someone we don't know was Ethan, allegedly.
It was Ethan.
Was signing up over and over and over again to Burger King's first time buyers deal using a bunch of fake Podzilla addresses. So
there are three things I know.
Getting free Burger King.
There are three things I know to be true objectively, Hunter. I got that word right. Objectively.
Yeah.
And that
You got
is
it.
I should have never used this show as a personal journal. That Ethan Craig Miles absolutely abused the policy of our email and took free burgers, and that Jesse Kimball is absolutely the person that harassed the Missouri Athletics Commission after one of my shows.
Now, I would like you to quickly return to the first thing that you said a minute ago.
Yeah.
And please,
Yep.
you are currently abusing this show as your personal journal.
I'm
You are actively doing it right now.
I'm about a fourth into this bottle. We're gonna go for halfsies. I'm gonna go half on this baby. All right.
You're gonna be looking like that cat here a little bit, just dead ass asleep.
That you know
Probably
what?
on Lindsay's shoulder.
That would be fucking great for me. Because let me tell you about my life right now. My life right now.
There you go again.
I go to bed at 1:00 usually when I'm done posting the show, when I'm done editing, when I'm done eating. We get a little bit of Fallout time in. I go to bed around 12:30, 1:00. I lay in bed, getting sleepy, watching ghost videos as I am wont to do. And lately, sitting in one specific position because any other position, if I twist or turn, it feels like my spine is going to shatter. Last night, I stayed up till probably 3, 4 in the morning in bed, too afraid to get out of bed to go to the bathroom because I was in so much goddamn pain. So I'm sleepy, I'm grouchy, and I have alcohol. Whether or not these things are something that you as a listener want to partake in is up to you. But if you stick with us, we got some great toy commercials coming up here in a few minutes. So, so don't abandon us yet.
Krusty,
And
please.
all of the things I said earlier about, fuck the audience and stuff like that, I didn't mean that, baby. I don't mean that. You know I love you. I'd be nothing without you. I am nothing without you. Zane, don't
It's like
give up
listening
on
to
me.
Eminem in real time.
But not the rapper, the candies. It's just them. Begging people to
If you're gonna
enjoy.
keep making these jokes, you better come on here and so we can see that face.
Oh no, I choose not to. Lindsay, what's tonight's top 5? We got something Star Wars. It's Star Wars month on Podzilla 1985,
yeah.
except for next week, which is Fallout.
Fallout Week.
You scared the cat. We
scared
are
him
doing
all
another
away.
draft style pick, and we are doing our 5 Star Wars characters that we would want on our squad, which apparently some of us took squad as buddies we hang out with, and some of us took squads as team. So, they can be 2 in the same, right?
I took it as which ones I want to fuck, and I got a list for you.
Of course you
I
would.
don't want anybody defending me I don't want to hang out with. No, Tanner, he said ones that you want to fuck.
Yeah.
It was
But no, that's why I said they could be 1 in the same, right?
Yeah. People you want to
Shannon,
hang with.
how does that go? What was the phrase? Spraddle your
Spraddle my yaddle.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Juwana Jedi.
the second ever episode of Horse Time when it wasn't even called Horse Time.
Right. It was
And
when
that's all it was about.
it was episodes where I was bemoaning my existence because of, oh God, nothing's changed 4 years later. Christ. You guys got to get me some help.
Sure it has. You have a new house.
That's true.
I wish
You own
I,
a business?
And 3 cats.
my
And
life,
a better car.
And a better car, yeah, that's a real good one.
And you own the store instead of having to work at it.
Yeah,
That's
Only.
All of these things are true.
Uh-huh. And you found peanut butter whiskey.
Kind of, I blame the
It will
Crowleys
be
for
the death
that.
of him.
And you owned a wrestling promotion.
Yeah, I kind of wish I hadn't sold that one, to be honest with you, but I'm sure I'll I'm sure I'll get it back.
Right time.
Oh, I absolutely did. I'll get it back too. Don't worry. For a song. Motherfucker of the week this week. You ready for
boy.
this? Yeah.
No.
So normally, I don't pick things that are too dark for this because I like to keep things light. You know me. I don't like to bring in sadness to the show. I like everything to be fun and snappy. And anyone that tells you is a goddamn liar from Perryville. But we're not gonna talk about her. The motherfucker of the week this week, though, I can't not pick this. I'm sorry. This is a story that upset me and upset a lot of people. One time, Donald Trump, probable vice president nominee, Kristi Noem.
Oh, yeah, this is fair.
I can't think of anyone else who. It's not enough to say she's the motherfucker of the week. She's somebody that I actively hope bad things happen to. She was the front runner for Donald Trump's VP. That was the big story. And I guess she thought it would be a good idea to write this book. And in this book, she talks about how she had to put down her dog. What did her dog do? Well, according to the story, her dog was too joyful and rambunctious and not a good hunting dog. So she put him in a gravel pit and shot him and killed him. This for what, 14 months?
She hated him, importantly. Yeah. She specifically said, I hated that fucking dog.
Hated that dog.
Yeah. And she thought, and I'm not kidding here, she thought this would win her points because she thought, look at what I have done, look what I am capable of doing, look at the pain.
She lives on a ranch and a farm, and she has to make tough decisions.
The hardest decisions.
Do this with animals all the time.
Yeah. 14-month-old puppies.
This is not a thing that you have to do all the time with dogs.
No.
Especially not 14-month-old puppies who you didn't train properly.
It's an actually upsetting story. And like the only solace I take, and it's not enough, but the only solace I take is that both sides of the aisle are condemning her, because if there's one thing that pretty much everyone agrees on is you don't fuck with animals. Like that is a universal truth. Right? Am I right about that? Like even Reddit,
especially in the day and age of the internet. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
In the day and age of the internet, you really don't do that. There's a
documentary on Netflix, is there? Yeah.
Don't fuck with cats.
Yeah.
Is exactly what it's called. These guys filmed themselves torturing the kittens.
Yeah. And
the internet did everything it could to find them, and it did not take very long.
It did not. It was frighteningly quick that they were able to identify every individual involved, their addresses, where they worked, everything.
And good, because we've all said this 1,000 times.
Could be horrifying.
Yeah, but in a good way sometimes. I think 4chan had a big part in that.
That was a good way.
I am not a supporter of 4chan in any way, but I do thank them for finding these bastards out, because animals, as you are all aware, are the best thing of life. They are better than humans. Cats, dogs, hamsters, it doesn't matter. Animals, we don't deserve them. And to be so cold-hearted, what a bitch. What a fucking bitch. And God, I hope the worst things happen to her. I hope her political career fails. I hope someone drags her ass out to a gravel pit, throws her in, and doesn't shoot her, because I would never advocate for violence on this show. But what happens in the middle of the night?
You never advocate for murder.
I would never advocate for murder. But if the gun accidentally went off, like in that song on Fallout 76,
she didn't know the gun was loaded.
Didn't know the gun was loaded.
And I'll never ever do it again.
I'm so sorry, my friend. It's upsetting.
Yeah,
it's upsetting.
I cannot imagine how fucking tone deaf you have to be.
Yeah.
To think this is good. And let's be clear. This is gonna win her some points with somebody somewhere.
Yes.
The kind of people who go, "Oh, are you offended? I'm sorry. Are you offended? I don't care."
Yeah.
I don't have a filter. The kind of people who do that shit, there will be some of them who will do everything they can, at least publicly, to support her because they like it. They like that it makes people mad. I am willing to bet behind the scenes, though, even they'll be like, oh, that's kind of fucked up.
And if you're not, then you're worse than me. I've been called a sociopath, and if you're worse than me, what is that saying about you? The only kind of people that would celebrate this, I believe, are the kind of people that would do comedy specials where they would tell you in detail on how if you see a bunny, you shoot it, you eat it, you make a hat.
Make a hat.
Make a hat.
Originally, I wanted to talk about the college campus crisis going on right now with the pro-Palestinian protesters, but once I heard this story about this woman and her dog, I was like, there's no other answer, right? This is the answer. This is the only possible answer because it's a fucking dog, man. You put a fucking dog in a pit and shoot it to death because you're some stuck-up cunt? Fuck you. I'm drinking again. Fuck this.
Yeah, the college situation absolutely sucks, but it's not easily identifiable as motherfucker of the week territory.
And it's also it's very gray area because the whole thing is a gray area. This is not a gray area. This is very black and white. You don't fucking kill a dog for being a dog.
Yeah, and again, importantly, because you didn't train it or have it trained properly.
Right.
You did that.
And
you didn't accomplish anything.
And instead of retraining it or rehousing it, you shot it.
You shot it.
All of which could have been done.
Terrible. Yep. Absolutely fucking terrible. All right. That's it. That's the only depressing thing I'm going to say. That's not the only depressing thing I'm going to say tonight. That's something I'm going to say about that. We're going to skip right ahead to the top 5. But before we do, Jesse Kimball, it's a big it's a big month for games. Can I tell you that? Can I talk to you about that for a second? Because
100%.
This week nothing happened now that I think about it. But next week the new World of Warcraft patch drops, including Mists of Pandaria Remix, which is very exciting, and a whole bunch of changes as we head into the War Within. Very excited about that. On the 14th, Diablo comes out with its reboot, basically, and I want to see how that goes. Yeah. I want to see how that goes. And Starfield even is getting a major update that does a lot of great things for it. So, man, good month for games.
Hopefully the Starfield update goes better than the Fallout 4 update did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. That didn't turn out so great.
That went real bad.
Jesse, do you know what the number one mod right now in Fallout is? And I'm not joking. It's the mod to.
I know.
Go ahead, Hunter. Tell him.
It gets rid of it. Yep. It's the one that undoes the update.
Yep. That's the number one mod.
What is it? Downgrade. It's the downgrade mods. It takes it back from the upgrade so that all your other fucking mods still work.
How?
It's just sad.
I'm at least grateful that we kind of complained because we all play. Hunter and I especially play the shit out of 76. Jesse has played it quite a bit. Tanner has been playing it quite a bit, especially lately. Everybody's really getting into Fallout 76 because of the Fallout TV show. We complained and we're like, man, I wish they had done more for 76 with the TV show coming out.
Right.
But I guess compared to completely fucking Fallout 4 up, we got the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
In 100% fairness to them, that update, because it rolled out for consoles as well as PC.
Yeah.
And for the consoles, this update was great.
Well,
it added a bunch of features, made everything a lot better. It fixed a lot of old bugs but anybody that had modded the game, so I guess Xbox users may not have gotten this great. So specifically, because Xbox allowed mods, right, for Fallout 4?
Yes, so PlayStation, great.
Specifically PlayStation, this was great for PlayStation players. This was bad for everybody.
But hang on, because it wasn't. Because PlayStation players found out that there was some fucking glitch where they couldn't get it for free the way they were supposed to.
Yeah, if you got it through... So when PlayStation 5 launched... It launched with the PlayStation's classic catalog, where if you bought a PS5, you got a bunch of games for free. If Fallout 4 was one of them. If you have that version of Fallout 4 on PlayStation 5, you cannot upgrade it without purchasing it again.
Can't do it. You gotta buy the game.
Meanwhile,
so dumb.
Over on Xbox...
That's so dumb, it makes Jesse mad.
When Xbox launched its patch, the setting didn't change. You could change it from performance to quality, and it had no effect. So, Bethesda, what are you doing, man?
It gave people frame rate, right? That was the whole bit.
Didn't change.
People just sitting there looking at their TV going, well, I mean, the human eye can only
it can't see
it
past
only
this.
tell so much.
So maybe not a great month for Bethesda, but Blizzard is killing it. You know.
That's true.
Well, a great month for Bethesda in terms of television.
Yes.
Games, on the
That
other
is
hand,
true.
not so much.
Which, by the way,
And, I mean,
Hunter.
like, and also not just for television, like the Magic the Gathering set. I mean, I guess technically that was last month, but like for
well, everything was technically last month. It's May.
It's gonna be May.
Fallout 4. Oh, no, sorry, not Fallout 4. Fallout did a Magic the Gathering set,
which did well.
So, yeah, like everybody was thinking, especially like card shop owners, that it wasn't going to do great. And yeah, like nobody could keep it on the shelves. Like the collector's boosters are impossible to get. A few of the decks are really hard to get. It sold exceptionally well all over the place. Made Bethesda and Wizards a fuckload of money.
And congratulations to Bethesda for all of the Fallout games reaching all new heights, not just 76. 76 had over 1 million players in one day for the first time ever, so congrats there. But even Fallout 4 and 3 and New Vegas and a bunch of them saw huge boosts in numbers after the show came out. It was that good. It was that good.
The number of people on my friends list that I see playing Fallout 4 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially as compared to like when it hasn't been. Steven has been one of them.
Yep.
I got a couple of friends from work. I know.
Just play 76.
I don't. They want to play alone. I get that.
No, Steven doesn't have Xbox Live anymore.
Oh, you rich bitch.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
You slinging tacos.
Wait,
you
what?
can afford it. Now, I will say, if you are a fan of Fallout, while we're talking about it, next week is Fallout Week on Podzilla 1985. Yes. I know it's Star Wars month, but it's Fallout Week next week. We will not only be doing a special Thursday episode of After Dark where we talk about, we all design our own vaults, which is a lot of fun. That's going to be very, very cool. But what I'm very excited about is not only are we starting our short campaign for Fallout on Plays, but on Wednesday we're reviewing the entire series of Fallout, the TV
Thursday.
show.
No, wait, yeah, sorry. You're right. It is Wednesday.
Please don't do that to me right now. Yeah, so it's next week's going to be a great week. It's Fallout all week long. I'm very, very excited about it. And then we'll be streaming Fallout on Friday, gameplay-wise. We'll be jumping into 76. And that is also sponsored by the Heartland Gaming Convention. We'll have the logo on the screen the entire time. And boy, I hope he doesn't listen to this episode. He might be disappointed. Nah, my humor is catchy. My personality is infectious. Like COVID.
There's a reference.
It'll grow on you.
It'll grow on you, if you believe it. All right. Well, I think I've bombed the show enough. Let's talk about the top 5 for tonight. Lindsay, Hunter. Whenever we snake it up, I always throw it to you. What's the what's the plan? Yeah.
Well, we know the topic. Lindsay already laid out the topic, right? We said this.
Yeah.
Our squad.
Mine's the ones I want to fuck.
So we're doing the old snake draft style, meaning that the last person in line then goes first in the second round. We reverse the order back and forth until everybody has their 5. The order for tonight's draft begins with Shannon.
Yes.
It then goes to Jesse, then to me, then to Lindsay, and then Tanner is last in line in the first round, which means he's first in line for the second round. So that's the running order here.
Yes.
And I'll keep the list as we go. Because it's also draft, that means that if someone takes it, you can't take it. If somebody takes somebody, you gotta take them off the overall list.
Yes, 100%. And as starting, I know I said mine was going to be the characters I want to fuck, and that's true. So the first one I'm picking is I'm going to take her off the board right now, and that's Padme Amidala. Look.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we all saw that coming.
All joking aside, because I have had the biggest crush on Natalie Portman. I have the biggest crush on Natalie Portman, but like I legitimately love Padme Amidala. I just like her. I've always liked the character. I thought the story was good. The fact that she's Anakin's, wife. She's a very strong character, and it's Natalie Portman. What can you say? The only thing. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say she is the second best part of the prequels.
What's the first? You gonna say Darth Maul?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I'll give it to you. Ewan McGregor knocked it out of the park.
Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan is
I rewatched, not to get too much off the subject, but we were actually talking about Star Wars today because we reviewed last night, Hunter, Clone Wars Solo and Rogue One.
Yes.
So I was watching Star Wars clips today, and I watched some clips from the Obi-Wan TV show. And I know Tanner's a big fan of this too. When Obi-Wan and Vader fight, and Vader's helmet cracks, and he's Anakin and Vader at the same time. It's so good.
Yeah.
And that whole storyline with Vader and Padme, I like. Yeah, there's some cringe moments, and of course there is. But you know who never was part of the cringe? Natalie Portman, because she is a fucking fantastic actress. And even when she was spouting out the worst lines, like "Anakin, you're breaking my heart," she sold it because she's amazing. My only complaint about Padme Amidala, I still don't understand the logistics behind the monster cutting at her midriff, at her stomach, only cutting her shirt off all the way around and not wounding her. I get you wanted to show Natalie Portman's stomach, and I appreciate that. But
abs of steel, dog. Abs of steel.
She's absolutely incredible. I wish they had put her in the game, Battlefront 2. She wasn't in it. Leia was in it, but not
really
Padme.
Weird.
Yeah. I was bummed out about that.
That was a weird choice.
So tonight's list, the 5 characters we most want to have relations with, mine is Padme Amidala. So
that's your personal list.
Moving on.
Yes. All right, Jesse, you're up.
All right. So Sarah and I's list was shockingly similar. I'm taking Chewbacca off the board.
Yeah, damn it. I was afraid of that.
I knew he wasn't going to survive round 1. Someone was taking him.
Oh yeah, it's fucking Chewbacca, man.
Yeah.
Like there is not a better just the side guy in fucking Star Wars. And I don't even call Chewie a side guy. He's your number one, your numero uno. He's the guy you could count on for literally everything. Ship repairs, beating the shit out of somebody, shooting whoever needs to be shot,
not saving Han,
playing a game of chess with you. Listen.
Just saying.
Chewie reminds me of and I know he's based kind of roughly on Lucas's dog, but he reminds me of a cat in the sense of he's a great companion, but Chewie also probably, I have to imagine he looks at humans and is like, "Oh, you big dumb kid, you big dumb version of me. Now I got to do all the hard work." Because cats look at us like kittens, right? And they're like, "Oh, you idiot. You're so big and so stupid."
Let me fan than all of us too.
Right? Yeah.
Food.
Exactly. I feel like that's Chewie 99% of the time. Oh, this fucking moron. Now I got to save his life.
And I cannot think of a better being to save my life than Chewbacca.
That's a good choice. That's a good choice. All right. Well, then let me just go ahead and clean up on the second half of that, because I'm obviously taking Han Solo in the first round.
Yeah.
No big surprise there. Han is across a wealth of the movies, right? I mean, he literally gets his own solo movie, literally and figuratively.
And you gave that 2 thumbs up.
I did.
Yeah.
I there are going to be some people that are going to be mad at me for saying that I think Solo is better than Rogue One, but
fuck them.
It is what it is.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Fuck our listeners.
No, please. Fuck your list, right? Not the listeners.
Literally, not figuratively.
Right, exactly. No. That's what I'm getting at. When I was a kid and I first got introduced to these movies, my cousin Ben, who is 3 years older than me, was the coolest person on the planet to me. He was, around the time we started hanging out, he was 13 and I was 10, which is the perfect age gap for oh God, tell me everything you know, because you're obviously the coolest person on the planet. So he introduced me to Star Wars. It was before I was 10, but still. And I fucking loved Han. Han was the coolest character, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, of course, when we play though, he has to be Han. I was like, oh, I guess I'll be Luke. Shannon, there's a reason I don't like the leader characters anymore. That's why I'm perfectly fine with you being Leonardo and Cyclops and all of that. Yeah, I can't. I was the guy. I liked Wolverine. I liked Han, and I never got that opportunity. So when I kind of got out from under his thumb, number one, just getting older, and number two, realizing not that fucking cool. It was nice to be able to double back to those things and actually enjoy them. And Han has just long since been, I mean, he's literally the coolest guy in the fucking galaxy. I mean, he comes back and saves the day. He gets the girl. He's got the blaster. He's got the ship. He's got the buddy. I totally get taking the buddy. And had I gotten the opportunity, Chewie would have been number 2 just to complete the duo.
And of course, I don't think you could talk about Han without the fact that Harrison Ford. There's a reason it's Harrison Ford. Not even supposed to be Han Solo originally. Wasn't it the story is that he came in to like help with the auditions, but he was not auditioning for Han.
He was a carpenter.
He was a carpenter.
Yeah. He was literally doing working on the set, and they were like, you should really step in for this. Which led to almost all the other stuff, because he had already done American Graffiti with Lucas at that point. But and that's why Lucas was like, I liked working with new people. That then leads to him being Indiana Jones and just a whole wealth of other things.
Also, Jesse, do you know who was tapped to play Han Solo originally? One of the people, probably the biggest name.
I have heard this, but I don't remember. So go ahead.
Nick Nolte.
Tom Selleck, right?
Tom Selleck too.
Nick Nolte.
No, Tom Selleck
was
too.
in the running
too. Yeah, and Nick
Nolte.
I'm
sorry. Tom Selleck was the main one who was tapped for Indiana Jones. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
He was supposed to be
classic Harrison Ford. I always loved the joke, and I forget where I heard it, of just the idea of Nick Nolte as Han Solo. And I forget which comedian said it, but just the quote of, God damn it, Chewbacca. I can never get it out of my head. Never get it out of my head.
It's not exactly Han, but before we move on from this, my favorite bit, maybe from everything that's ever come from Harrison Ford playing Han Solo, is just as great as the movies are. When he was sitting on the couch at Conan's on Conan's show.
Oh, when they asked him about the... Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I know what it is.
They asked him about The Force Awakens. Yeah. So The Force Awakens is, of course, at that point in time announced. They know it's coming. He's going to be part of it, but no one knows anything. And Conan's like, I will give you $100.
Yes.
I have $100 bill right now I will give you if you'll tell me anything about this movie. And so Harrison sits there for a minute, and then he takes the $100 bill, and as he's putting it and folding it up into his jack pocket, he goes, I hear they're thinking of doing another one. And that's it. It's just, and I'm 100% convinced he kept that fucking $100. I know he did. There's no way he gave it back.
Conan also has one of my favorite bits with Han Solo where they show the exclusive. They ended the argument of who shot first, Han or Greedo, and it is this ridiculous video of Greedo shooting at him about 500 times, and then Han shoots him finally. It's so fucking funny.
Oh shit!
Very funny.
God damn!
I also hate that debate so fucking much.
Yes, because
that's so dumb.
The debate shouldn't be who shot first. Greedo didn't shoot. Han is the only one that shot.
Han shot. And that's part of what makes him so fucking cool.
Yes.
Yeah, because the original cut, like Han Solo just straight murdered Greedo in the bar.
And that's why I love, we talked about it last night with Solo, the end of Solo with him, spoiler alert, with him and Tobias Beckett played by Woody Harrelson. As Woody Harrelson's character is talking to Han, he just shoots him. Han just shoots him because he's finally learned that that's what you have to do to survive. It's a great scene. It's a great movie.
Well, but if they hadn't edited it, then how could they get the part where Greedo says McClunky, despite the fact that we don't know what that means? Oh, God, it's all toilet sounds. Let's go on with Lindsay's choice.
It's intergalactic toilet sounds.
Galactic toilets.
Okay, well, hang on. I'm on it.
Well, I am going to go ahead and take Obi-Wan Kenobi off the table.
Hello there.
Because, again, Ewan McGregor is awesome. We're initially introduced to this character as the wise shit sage that, like, fills us in on what the
wise shit
the
sage.
Wise shit sage.
Look, I'm tired. Shut up.
Obi-Wan.
But then we get to go in and actually see him as the trainee and learning and becoming a teacher and growing throughout everything, too.
And also being the only series on Disney Plus that anybody actually like dropped their drawers on and said yes.
I'm sorry, The Mandalorian exists.
Yeah.
Oh, other than The Mandalorian.
Yeah, but we saw Ewan McGregor coming back and we're like, yes, please.
That was pretty incredible. And I
said hello there.
I honestly don't think Obi-Wan was great. I'm going to be honest. I don't think the Obi-Wan series was great. It was good, but it was the moments in Obi-Wan that really made it for me. Him and Vader, him and Qui-Gon, like that was incredible. The show itself and the plot was okay. Let's be honest. But the moments were incredible.
Yeah.
My opinion. My opinion. Yeah.
Okay.
I enjoyed the show, but yeah, no, I don't think it's like
not extremely memorable.
Like
I still think
Mandalorian was a better show.
I think at the top of my list, and I God forgive me, I think Andor is my favorite Disney Plus Star Wars show. I really do. In my opinion, just my opinion. But I really loved it. Anyway,
I mean, like, you're not the only one. Kevin Schenkelberg is right there with you. Andor is his favorite of the Star Wars shows.
He was my least favorite character in Rogue One. We talked about it last night.
Because I was waiting on. Because I don't remember now, like, because Shelby hadn't seen Rogue One. I think she's seen it now, and we just haven't started Andor.
Gotcha. Well worth it, I think.
So, I do want to watch
Tanner.
it for the record.
Tanner, you are finishing round 1 and then beginning round 2. You got 2 picks in a row here, but remember, it's going to be a while before you get any more.
First and foremost, you got to go with fucking Jedi Jesus himself, Luke Skywalker, man.
I was hoping to God he was going to pick Jocasta Jedi or whatever her name is.
Jocasta knew.
So, to Tanner, I want to apologize.
That fucking mistake.
I want to apologize formally to Tanner. We tore him apart in that episode Hunter talked about.
Yes, we did.
I haven't seen anyone take abuse like that since Dalton's days. So, Tanner, God bless you for sticking with us all these years after that.
God bless you, boy.
Because that was rough, admittedly. Now, Luke, you say?
Yeah. Like I said, Jedi Jesus himself. Why not? Like,
Also,
how does he not get taken in the first round?
Isn't Anakin Jedi Jesus?
Yeah, I was going to say, I would call Anakin that.
Let's no one else pick Anakin. Don't worry about it. Let's stop talking about him. Tanner, tell me more about Luke.
I would say Anakin's more Jedi God, and then Luke is Jedi Jesus.
That's fair. I think that's fair. No, I think that's fair because he's the father and Luke is the son in the Holy Trinity.
Anakin literally had like the Force. It was the virgin birth. Like, he was born of
Star Wars lore, it's the father of the son and the daughter.
It was midichlorians, though, not the gospel.
Was it the Holy Spirit?
You sure you want to bring those midichlorians up again?
The Holy
Spirit.
That M count?
Who was it?
Is that thing you really want to get back into?
Was it us last night that said I'd take midichlorians over the bullshit they fed us in the new sequels any day?
No, if I had picked Luke, because he would have been on my short list for sure. I would. Probably the reason he doesn't get higher on my list is that I would want to specifically designate, like, I want Luke after the original trilogy.
Yeah, well,
I want
Return of the
Mandalorian
Jedi
Luke.
Return of the Jedi Luke was pretty good too, though.
Yeah,
you know.
well, that's the beginning of that. Yeah,
Right.
Basically black suit, green saber. Luke.
Yes,
that's who I want.
That was the best Luke.
But the difference between
whatever though, just because he's a great pilot, man.
Luke's great. I mean, Luke, the original trilogy is the Luke Skywalker story. I know Vader is and Anakin are like the overall story, that he's the big one, but it's Luke's story in the beginning. And I always liked Luke. I love the idea. It's like the Jubilee thing of the person, the wide-eyed, young one that kind of you experience this with.
Stranger in a Strange Land.
Yeah. But the change between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, where Luke goes from whiny bitch to black suited fucking badass Jedi. I guess he learned that in the trip home from Dagobah.
A good amount of time passed between.
He also just gave into the dark side a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely a gray Jedi there. I mean, he just straight up murders a couple of those guys on his way into Jabba's palace.
Yeah, and the confrontation between him and Vader in Dagobah and the there's some issues.
Yeah, even in the throne room.
Yeah.
In fairness, like, Jedi just in general aren't opposed to murdering bad guys.
They're not Batman.
To bring balance.
Yeah, well, that's in the name of justice. It's in the name of justice. I think, like the Texas execution system.
But it was the way that Luke killed a couple of them that it may be a little bit of
asphyxiating them with a force choke. Yes,
that was the force
choke. They're pig people. They ain't human. They ain't white.
Shit!
Come on,
Gas is gonna pop up.
Tanner, make another pick before it gets bad.
Before it gets worse.
I'm gonna go with Ben Solo.
Dick.
Oh, okay.
Do you mean Kylo Ren?
So you're talking about Kylo Ren?
No, I said Ben Solo.
Yeah,
they're the same person.
I was gonna do the same thing. Like,
they're the same person.
They are the same person, but I was gonna take Ben Solo because, like, that was one of my favorite parts of that final movie. Like, and I mean, Tanner, I'm sorry to step on your toes on this one, but like, my favorite part was the transition from like Kylo Ren to like Ben Solo. This more like he more emulated Han Solo. He's this goofy, upbeat guy that like
he pulls that fucking lightsaber from around his back and then looks at the Knights of Ren and goes. And gives his shrug. I'm like, oh, fuck, you're your dad's kid right there, man.
So as somebody
the problem is you get about 3 seconds of Ben Solo. That's the problem for me.
Yeah.
And
I'm in love with him.
Then he kisses her.
No, you're wrong. Kylo Ren is very cool, but I don't want to fucking hang out with Kylo Ren.
So
I don't want to hang out with Kylo Ren.
That baby needs a bottle on that end. I'm good.
My biggest problem with Kylo Ren is the name Ben Solo, because I was a fan of Star Wars. I don't want to be that guy, but I love the expanded universe back in the day. So I love the idea that they had multiple kids. They had Anakin Solo. They had, Jason Solo, I think was her name.
Yeah.
And I love that storyline. So when they kind of combined it all down and just made him Ben Solo, and they basically rewrote the history that had been presented, I always kind of had a grudge against that. But Kylo Ren is awesome.
They couldn't do like the New Jedi Order because like too much time had passed.
Yeah.
And like at this point, they had Luke Skywalker, like Mark Hamill was considerably older.
Right.
So they couldn't have like that, like the
until
late 30s, early 40s.
Well, until the shows just did him in CG and it was like, here you go, eat it up. And
yeah,
we did.
I guess that's true.
And we did. But Kylo Ren is badass. Kylo Ren
shows eat them.
Kylo Ren also has the best lightsaber. By the way, and there's no argument. He has the best lightsaber. Okay. It's just fucking cool.
There is. It's not double bladed.
Fuck. Fuck. That scene with Darth. We'll save it for later. Maybe someone's gonna pick him. All right. Sorry.
No, we're good. All right.
Okay.
So then, Lindsay, you're up next.
I'm going with one of my current favorite Star Wars characters,
Rex.
CT-767, also known as Captain Rex.
Yes. I am the best man ever.
Everybody loves Captain Rex.
Rex is awesome.
You're the eldest boy.
I'm the Elden boy.
Hang
on, I gotta go change another name.
And Ahsoka worked with the Bad Batch, came back and worked with the Rebels, and has been confirmed through canon that the old man in Return of the Jedi in the final battle is Rex.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Although he doesn't look like
I
Tamara
remember
Morrison.
hearing that was the theory, but
no.
But it's okay. Yeah.
He had to hide. He got plastic surgery. He had to change things up a little bit.
He had galactic plastic surgery. Galactic surgery.
Gave him a beard and Rebels.
Okay, look, you gotta slow down. I can only type so fast.
It's not me, it's the whiskey. It's done through me.
The peanut butter whiskey is taking over.
Galactic surgery. And that's Cody's new name. All right.
So,
I just realized that of our group, we have 3 people that are also have the same names as clones: Hunter, Jesse, and Cody.
Well, technically 4, because Steven is also Hunter.
Okay, well,
That's true.
Do you want to get technical?
That's true.
Yeah.
So you want to get real technical.
Yeah.
All right, well then it's back to me. And I'm a little surprised, not terribly surprised that this happened, but I am gonna take it and run with it. If I got one badass smuggler, let's make it 2. I'm taking Lando Calrissian, the coolest man in the galaxy.
Every time that I hear you were talking about Scrubs the other day. Every time I hear Lando Calrissian, I can't help but hear Turk saying it. Because he met Jimmy Dean.
I don't remember this. Oh, yeah.
Because JD was dating his niece, is the storyline.
Right.
So, like, he comes around, and Turk's just like, Lando Calrissian! Jimmy.
Lando Calrissian also like the only character to be played by 2 different actors, and like 100% without doubt knocked it out of the park. Yeah.
Yep. I was going to say, this is one of the things I love about this pick. Because if you made me pick, maybe surprisingly to some people, I would probably pick Donald Glover, honestly. But the fact that in one character I get the both of them is exactly where it is. Look, admittedly, if my version of Squad was people I want to hang out with, Lando might be kind of a dick in Empire. Yes. All right, I'll give you that.
Well, he had to be.
But
he had to be.
He was protecting, and he wasn't protecting. I feel like a lot of people give him a lot of shit for that. He wasn't protecting his own ass. He was protecting an entire city's worth of people, right?
Yeah.
And he still found a way to make it right in the end. He's an incredible fucking pilot. If there's anybody cooler than Han, it's him. They're the only two people who get close to that.
100%.
He's a great gambler. He's a great general. Like, he turns out he's actually very good, at military tactics too.
And the worst cameo in the new sequels.
Yes. But at least he was there.
At least he was there. It's still
Billy D. Williams.
It's still Billy D. Williams. Yeah.
I love Billy D.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Fucking love Lando. All right, Jesse.
All right. You remember what I said about Sarah's list? Qui-Gon Jinn is going to be my second one.
Qui-Gon.
Because I want a Jedi that, like, in my squad, I want a Jedi that has a little bit of moral gray area. Will do what needs to be done. Won't just like bow to the Jedi Council and their politics and everything else. And I need a Jedi on the squad because you got to have a Jedi on the squad.
Always, forever.
I mean, you're gonna have that gray with Qui-Gon, though. I mean, he was trained by Dooku.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like,
also known as Darth Tyrannus or Darth Unicorn.
Darth Unicorn. Like Qui-Gon, that was also like, green is my favorite color. Like that first movie hit when I was
a youngling.
99. Came out in 99.
I was 11 years old. I was 11 years old when that movie came out. And I remember me and my little brother were super hyped about it. We bought into all of because, for a year and a half before that movie came out, marketing was everywhere.
Yes. People had heard about that film, yeah.
Yeah, it was nuts. And like,
they were aware.
I'd seen like Qui-Gon had the green lightsaber and everything. I love fucking green. I was like, yes, this is going to be great. And like, I like Qui-Gon. Like him a lot. I was bummed that he died at the end of that film.
But he came back in Obi-Wan. Spoiler alert.
It wasn't until I got to play the Knights of the Old Republic games that I really got to see like what the Grey Jedi were all about, and I was like, no, these guys are right. Like they've got it figured out. Stop dealing with other people, live away from everyone, don't uphold too much of one side or the other. That's where it's supposed to be.
Don't join.
But nobody will ever do that. Fairly enough across the board. All right, Shannon. Two choices. End out round 2 and start round 3.
I have a most obscure choice and a choice that I'm going to break my own pattern because I can't risk someone taking them. But my first pick is a character none of you are going to fucking know, Tali Lintra.
I do know this name, but I don't remember where.
So she was in The Last Jedi, played by the great Hermione Corfield. She was a general and a pilot. She didn't do anything. She basically got in her little ship. She flew around for a second and died. But the reason I didn't even know who the fuck she was until we started playing Battlefront 2. And one of the hero ships that you could play as in the space mode was her, I think it was a B-Wing. It was Tali Lintra. And I was like, who the fuck is Tali Lintra? So I looked her up, and sure enough, she's in The Last Jedi. She's just kind of cameos. And I like Hermione Corfield. She's a great actress. I've seen her in other things. She's absolutely stunning and a good actress. So I attached myself to that character, even though Tali Lintra never really did anything of value in the films. But she's a pilot, which is my favorite thing in Star Wars. She's gorgeous. And since my list was, quote unquote, the ones I would like to be friends with, I have to put her on there because she's amazing. So Tali Lintra is my first pick. For my second pick, because you motherfuckers are scaring me, is Anakin Skywalker. I'm going to break it now.
I can't believe you didn't just do that to begin with.
I was saving him for last because the joke was going to be all these women, and then the last pick was Anakin Skywalker, and I was going to say I would still fuck him. But since you guys keep dancing closer to him.
So importantly, we have to make a clear distinction. This also means Darth Vader is off the table.
Yes,
because it's the same person.
Same guy.
Same person.
Exactly.
Look,
it may be different, but it's not. It's the same.
I know I said this list was the ones I'd fuck. That was joking. These are just the characters I think are especially badass, and a lot of them are women. I think the women in Star Wars, when done correctly, are absolute.
Very good about that.
Absolute badasses, and my whole list is women except for one. And that's Anakin Skywalker, because Anakin is my absolute favorite character in the whole Star Wars universe, not just because he's Darth Vader, but I love the story of whiny little bitch Anakin turning into this monster by the end of it, and his redemption. It's the Anakin Skywalker story. It always is, and it always will be. Hayden Christensen did an okay job as Anakin in the prequels with bad directing and bad writing. He was very much redeemed in the TV shows. He was great in Obi-Wan. He was fantastic in Ahsoka. And I'm glad that he's finally getting his flowers.
Because it wasn't Hayden Christensen, but like Anakin in the Clone Wars series was awesome.
That started his. I think that started the character's redemption.
Research on that too to blend the characters together.
That was I think the character's redemption
was so much better than what we got, and like it was criminal how poorly Anakin was treated in those prequels.
But at the same time, it was still well done because Anakin, everyone,
especially for the whole thing to be about him.
Yeah, well, everyone always complained to me that Anakin, played by Hayden Christensen, was like a whiny bitch. But that's kind of what he was supposed to be. It was supposed to be that arrogant narcissism that turned him into Vader. But admittedly, it was poorly done in a lot of ways because the writing was bad and the direction was bad. But I always liked Hayden Christensen's portrayal of Anakin Skywalker. Whenever the Clone Wars came out and they really made Anakin more likable, when he came back for Ahsoka and for Obi-Wan, and the fans were receptive to it, and he got, I get teary-eyed thinking about these guys from, you know, the prequel trilogy that were hated at the time that are now celebrated and you know, they get their flowers. That makes me so happy. Not just him, but Ahmed Best, who was in which show was he in? Was it Obi-Wan? Was it Obi-Wan? He appeared in Obi-Wan.
No, he's in the Mandalorian, right? Because it was Grogu.
Yeah,
he saves Grogu.
Yes, as a Jedi. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right.
Kelleran Beck is the character.
There's been a lot of orders
he also
in the last couple of years.
So he was not to go too much on a tangent here, but before that happened, because the actor Ahmed Best himself, he hosted like a kids game show called Jedi Temple Challenge.
Yeah,
and that's where all that came from. Like he was Jedi Master Kelleran Beck, and he leads the younglings through their like training and stuff. And so then they went, "We have something we'd like you to do."
I watched an interview. This is off topic, but this is where I get serious and teary-eyed for a second. I watched an interview with Ahmed Best where he walked them through the neighborhood to the bridge where he considered suicide after
killing himself.
After the back, and I hated Jar Jar Binks. I still don't like Jar Jar Binks.
We all did.
Yeah.
No,
everybody. Yeah.
But it's not.
But that's not his fault.
It's not Ahmed Best's fault. Yes.
No.
So to see all these. Oh, go ahead, Jesse. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it was one of those things like what really got to him. Like Jar Jar Binks was a racist caricature, and like, he didn't realize it in the moment. Like he was just going to be like he was excited to be in a Star Wars movie. So like that. Yeah, like that added to it, just like oh God, not only does everybody hate me, but like I was a racist caricature of my own race.
Right. But to see him, you know, kind of come around and the love and respect that he gets now, and Hayden Christensen too. Whenever I see Hayden Christensen on these panels and stuff, to see the love that he has for Anakin in the Star Wars series, and to see people, you know, loving him, it brings a fucking tear to my eye. It really does. And that's just talking about the actors. But to get back to the character, Anakin Skywalker is Star Wars. More than Luke, more than anybody else. His journey as a child of the Force to Darth Vader to redemption is Star Wars to me. That is the core story. And I don't care what happens before or after. I mean, even in the sequels, Kylo Ren's whole thing was he wanted to be Darth Vader. Because that is how big Vader was. When you think of Star Wars, you think of Darth Vader. I love it. It's a great story, and Anakin's a fantastic fucking character. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah. I just wouldn't want to hang out with him. That's the only reason I wouldn't pick him.
I would want to hang out with him.
Him.
I would only want to know how he gets his hair to look so fantastic. And then that'd be it. And I would like... I would ask him at some point, hey, your wife, she's single?
She's in the squad with you.
Damn right she is.
She's like, I can hear this.
Damn right.
Jesse, please give us your third pick.
All right, I don't know what. I don't think either of these are going to come back around to me if I don't pick one of them now. Yeah, I'm gonna get my droid out of the way.
Damn right.
Because I want a droid for my squad, and I'm gonna do K2SO.
The best. Loved him.
USO.
Yeah.
Where's that dash come in? Is it between the K and the 2?
The K and the 2.
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
K-2SO.
Played by the great Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, I love me some Alan Tudyk. So yeah, he was the droid in Rogue One. He is a strategy droid, I think I don't remember what the actual name for them.
I got you.
He has my favorite part in Rogue One. And
Security.
I last
Security
night,
droid.
Security droid, yeah.
Last night on the show, I mentioned this. The part where Jyn Erso shoots him, or shoots a droid that looks just like him, and then he's right behind and he's like, "Do you know that wasn't me?" Very funny. Very funny.
She's like,
Yeah.
She didn't know that wasn't me. Yeah, that was one of Shelby's favorite parts of that movie. That was fantastic. He's just a good droid. I like that droid a lot.
Very sad death scene.
And you need a droid in your squad. You got to have a droid take care of a bunch of stuff. K2SO is a great one
and lovable. Right, not to spoil Rogue One if anybody hasn't seen it, but spoiler alert: everybody dies. His death scene was particularly sad. I teared up a little bit. None of the other droids have ever made me feel sad for them, but he did because he was so good.
He was great.
Yeah,
great droid.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Shannon is scaring me, so my third pick is going to be Princess Leia Organa. Because, frankly, I'm afraid if I don't, she's not getting back around to me at this point.
She'd be a hard pick.
It was a risky move. It was a risky move to not take her second, but I was worried that Lando might be higher on somebody's list than her. So, yeah, man, for all the talk about how great some of these other characters you mentioned are, Princess Leia Organa, the best female character in Star Wars, hands fucking down.
Yeah,
don't come at me.
No argument.
She absolutely is.
Yeah.
From the first movie, which comes out in 77, right? I'm not crazy. It's 77, not 79.
Yeah,
77. When you didn't make action movies with women as leads, especially not aliens. Ones that then. Yeah, right. But even that was later, right? I don't think that was 77. That was,
to be fair, not an action. The first Alien was not an action film either.
Right. It's a haunted house movie. But one of the things that I love about it is that it's one of the few things that Lucas does early on in terms of dialogue that is really good. Is it's that trope subverting where she's a princess, she gets captured, but the whole time she's snarky as fuck about it. You know who this character is from the moment she's introduced on the Tantive 4.
Aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper?
Well, that, and also when Vader's just trying to interrogate her, she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. We're on a diplomatic mission from Alderaan.
I recognize your foul stench from the...
Yes! Carrie Fisher is unironically one of my favorite actresses of all time.
Yeah.
And it could literally be just the stuff she's done for Star Wars, not counting all the other countless things that she did before she passed. She was just so fucking good in so many things. And this character, is fully embodied by her. And that's the thing that I really love. Is you can't imagine... The only time that they ever had to try somebody or had to use somebody else as her is the Obi-Wan series, and she's so little there that obviously that would never have held up anyway. Right. Had they done that before? Right, it's a child,
and it was pointless.
Well, no,
it wasn't point. No. Let me rephrase. It wasn't pointless.
No, children aren't stupid.
Children aren't stupid. She did an okay job. I didn't need it. I didn't need the Leia Obi-Wan connection in the beginning there. I was fine with it being a later thing. But it's whatever. It's a small nitpick.
It's not something I'm going to sit here and bother to defend, because when I think of Leia, I think of Carrie Fisher.
Right.
I think of all the great moments across the original trilogy. Frankly, I think of getting to see her in the sequels and being one of the best parts of them. And just getting to see her return back to that role and slip right back into it, like nothing ever happened.
Someone brought up to me the other day when we were watching the movies, and I think I mentioned that Padme was like my favorite woman in Star Wars because I love Natalie Portman, and their first response was, "What about Slave Leia?" And I thought,
they don't even call her that anymore, right? That's one of the great changes I think that has been made, kind of retconning that term out of there. Yeah. I forget what it is. I think it's Jabba's prisoner. They just call her like prisoner Leia,
which makes more sense
because that was That was the whole point. She wasn't a slave anyway.
No,
that implies that she's like doing work, and that's not what's happening. He literally just keeps her on a collar at his side.
But it was very much them just putting Carrie Fisher in the metal bikini, and I remember, I forget who it was, but someone asked her about the role, and they were up for a Star Wars role, and it was something like, "Don't let George talk you into a metal bikini." If he asks, say
especially
no.
in the desert.
Yeah.
Well, if I remember correctly, she wrote in her book, because I'm pretty sure she wrote her own memoir, that it was one of those things where, like, she's like, there's no good way to wear this thing. Like, if you're looking at me at just the right angle, you can see everything. There's nothing I can do about it. And she goes, and at first I was like, this son of a bitch. But the longer it went on, the more I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to make everyone around me uncomfortable then. Also, if this is what we're doing, then let's go for it.
Also, like, easily the most cosplayed costume from Star Wars.
I was just going to say, it is still, like, to this day, one of, like, the most popular cosplays, not just of Star Wars.
In general.
In general. It pops up in Friends. Maybe the least nerdy show of all time. It pops up in fucking Friends.
Yeah.
I had forgotten about that until Sarah's rewatching it right now. She's flipped from The Office to that, and it rolled by, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, they did do that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Leia
got it, because
all over the place. To this day.
I think she makes a good compliment, too, to my existing crew. I mean, come on. Han, Lando, and Leia, yeah.
You got the trio. A good group. If only Jesse the Bastard hadn't stolen Chewbacca, you would have.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Crew. I got some things coming. All right, Lindsay, your third pick.
Well, despite the fact that she annoyed the shit out of us the other day, I'm going with old Snips herself, Ahsoka Tano.
Hey, Sky Guy.
Yeah, you did that to yourself, Tanner.
Yeah, you really did.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he picked Luke and Kylo, which are good choices, but like,
great choices.
Not taking her in round one, she wasn't going to make it around back to you again.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she
Tanner's
has
spitting all over
such
the
a good character development.
Yeah.
Like what Ahsoka is at the end of Clone Wars, I would hang out with Ahsoka.
I was going to say, I'm the first one to admit I don't know a lot about Ahsoka, and having watched the Clone Wars, I didn't want to know anymore.
Yes, but she's an annoying piece of shit when you first meet her, as any 13-year-old girl would be for the most part.
Rosario Dawson killed it as her.
I was going to say, importantly, the first time I saw anything from that character was her in The Mandalorian. Yeah. And so I at least had that base to go on. I knew that the Clone Wars was not as good as it gets.
Yeah.
So...
And she does get good by the end of Clone Wars, but...
One of my favorite
so I've been told. I'll never find out.
Comes from Tales of the Jedi. And it's Anakin being super tough on her training because, like, she's fine fighting the droid stuff that the Jedi Masters are having all their trainees do. And he's like, no, it's not good enough. And so he literally has Rex and the other clones form a circle around her, and she has to defend off of him. So he was literally training her to survive Order 66.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a heartbreaking thing to watch between that episode and then her actual episode of Order 66. Is just,
shit.
It's really, really good, but it's heartbreaking.
Y'all see that cat in the background?
Okay, I see him.
She's trying to eat my strawberry shortcake figures.
She's getting in trouble.
All right, well, let's move on while Lindsay takes care of that. Tanner.
Tanner.
Yes.
Before I make my pick, Jesse, in response to what you said, me spitting all over the one Jedi rule, if I had gotten to pick Ahsoka after picking Ben Solo, keep in mind, neither of them are technically Jedi.
Also, I don't think we ever actually made an official.
Okay,
we never made an official no Jedi rule. I joked.
You're not wrong, and I wasn't going to try to uphold that, but whether they're Jedi or not, if they can use the Force and use a lightsaber, they're fucking Jedi. Basically,
General Grievous, not a Jedi, doesn't have the Force. Everyone else in the series that uses a lightsaber uses the Force. Jedi, plain and simple.
Capable.
Yeah.
Yep.
You tell Ahsoka she's a Jedi, she tells you I'm no Jedi.
Tanner, pick your pick.
Okay, great, but she can do the
law, not the spirit. Like is what you're doing.
Right.
All right.
You got to pick 3 and 4 to make here.
I am picking my my droid for my crew, and I love sass. So give me BB-8.
Oh, I thought you were gonna pick Leet.
Leet's a good choice.
Leet's a good choice.
It's a terrible name, but a good choice.
As
BB-8's
someone that grew up in the early days of the MMO, 1337 makes me laugh. I'm sorry. That was an ultimate joke for sure.
Fair.
Yeah.
Also,
BB's fine. It's a
you said he liked sass. That's one of like 4 droids immediately popped in my head, and BB-8 was not one of them.
I'm sorry. Other than C-3PO, name one droid that's not sassy.
I mean, I would even argue C-3PO is a little sassy.
I was going to say he's sassy in his own way. Yeah,
he's
sassy in a very unconfident way.
You
can be sassy and not be confident.
Run.
Exactly.
So to tie into someone else's pick earlier, I had read that at one of the premieres, I think it was of Rogue One, Anthony Daniels, who played C-3PO in the series, he found out that Alan Tudyk got to do K2SO as a mocap, as opposed to actually being in the costume. And his response to Alan Tudyk was "fuck you," and Alan Tudyk said that was a badge of honor. Yeah. That's good.
On the flip side of that, Tudyk was telling stories that because he was mocap, people at the craft stations weren't recognizing him, so he'd have to remind them so that he could get his meals on set.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Oh, that's so sad.
All right, Tanner, help me out here. What was there was another one that was the opposite of BB-8, that was the evil version, and I think he was in the game too.
BB-8.
BB-8. That's what it was. Yes.
All right, BB-8 wasn't his actual name, but that is 100% what everybody called him.
Yeah, right. The real name is BB-9E. I had to look it up.
I'm sorry, BB-8? That's fucking awesome.
Here's what's very funny to me. If you look up BB-9E, well, I looked up BB-8 Evil, and this is what it showed up BB-9E. But the Google results, that ain't him.
That's not him at all. Who is that?
No. I don't know.
That looks like some fucking thumbnails from an alt-right gun video.
Right?
Oh, they're from The Walking Dead. Apparently they're at the bottom of this page, because when you open it up, the right one comes up, but that is Brandon Carver, Alicia, and someone else from The Walking Dead. Wow. I just love that that's what the research result pulled up.
That's pretty funny.
No, I like BB-8. Actually, well, without moving the camera, he's up there.
He's very sexy. Very sexy.
I also have. Well, it's not a BB-8, but yeah, the droid that I built is of that
BB
model.
series. Yeah, BB series one. Yep. The one we built is an R2, but I've got when Sphero released those BB-8s. I don't have the app anymore, so I can't drive him. But this is the one where the head moves and. Yeah, you're right.
This is the one that I built at Disney. I know this is great for people out there. It's a black BB-8 with a purple and white head.
I ain't got no droids.
And he's super cool looking. And then Shelby built an astromech.
I ain't got no droids.
Yeah, that's what we've got. Tanner, you got another pick to make.
Please.
Yeah, I'm picking my first scoundrel smuggler type. Zori Bliss, man.
Oh no!
Oh shit!
No, it's okay.
Don't do this.
No, it's okay. She wasn't on my list. I give Tanner respect for picking her. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
I'm surprised.
She'd be on a list of people you wanted to fuck.
No, you have to hear.
Right.
Well, hold on. You have to hear my last 2 picks, and I think it'll make sense.
Okay, fair enough.
I do love Zori Bliss, though. Zori Bliss is one of the characters that I have in Lego Fortnite. I have her character, played by the great Kerry Russell. You may remember from Felicity, a very, very wonderful actress. I love Zori Bliss. I think she's a great pick. Tanner, I'm 100% behind you. Thumbs up from me, buddy.
Frankly, I'm just surprised that you, Shannon, picked Tally Lintra over her, but that's just me.
I really fell in love with Tally Lintra because I think Hermione Corfield is one of the just prettiest women I've ever seen in my life. Not that Kerry Russell isn't, but I never forgave her for cutting her hair in Felicity. So
people holding a grudge so many years later.
The 2, maybe 1 people that watch Felicity will get that reference and will laugh.
A shit ton of people watched Felicity.
I love Felicity.
Yeah, they're aware. So real quick, since we're at where we are, let's do a quick. Do we want to do a 3-person recap?
Yeah.
Before we move on?
Let's do it.
Okay, so Shannon, who are your 3 so far?
I don't remember, but I'm going to try. My 3 were Anakin Solo, god damn it, Anakin Skywalker, which I know for sure, Padme Amidala, and Tally Lintra. Yeah.
Right. Jesse?
I had Chewbacca, Qui-Gon Jinn, and K2SO.
Chewie?
That is correct. So far, I've got Han Solo, Lando Calrissian, and Leia Organa.
Hunter
Lindsay?
wins.
I have Obi-Wan Kenobi, Captain Rex, and Ahsoka Tano.
And Tanner just took his fourth, but Tanner, you have...
Luke Skywalker, Ben Solo, Zori Bliss, and is that who I picked? Who else did I pick?
BB-8.
Oh, BB-8. Yeah.
Oh shit! I was gonna say Tanner also wins,
Answer.
except for
Tancer.
BB-8. But you know, hey.
Lindsay, you're up. Round 4.
I have some rather serious people, so I feel like I need some comedic relief here. So I'm taking Wrecker from the Bad Batch.
I don't know who that
He
is.
is hilarious. He is a big old bruiser who is a teddy bear and a demolitions expert, and he just acts like a big old kid sometimes.
Okay, well
And
none
it's
of
not
us.
that he's afraid of heights, it's just when he gets up high, he has a problem with gravity.
Literally, no one knows who that character is. So
That's not
I
true.
feel bad. I really don't. I don't know who this is. I'm just nodding and going along with it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Hunter Hendricks smiling
He's
politely.
part of the Bad Batch.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I was going to get back around to a show, I feel like it'd be that one. That was the one that keeps getting
It was
the
good.
good nods.
They still made me cry, but it was a good cry, not a bad cry.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like Bad Batch is post Clone Wars, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
after Order 66. Like
Yeah.
literally the first episode takes place during Order
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I somehow I got to round 4 and I don't have a Jedi. Or at the very least, I'm sorry. I don't have a Force user
Hunter-
who has a lightsaber.
Hunter, do you want a Jedi? Is that what you're saying?
No, Joanna Yoda. Because how in the fuck did we get to round 4 and nobody picked Yoda?
You know, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this right now before you get into it. I'm going to speak my piece, and then I love Yoda, but that part in Attack of the Clones was so bad. Him versus Count Dooku.
Count Dooku.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, we're not talking about that.
Let's
we don't
skip
talk
that.
about that.
Okay,
That's
thank
not
you.
that's
Thank
not the
you.
part.
Thank
That's
you.
not the point.
Thank
We're
you.
not talking about that.
Okay.
We're not worried about that because Yoda for me, and I've talked about this a billion fucking times on this show, whether it's movie quotes, whether it's something Star Wars specific, Yoda for me is Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
Weird little guy
Yes.
who no one
Weird little
knows what he
puppet.
is and what he's doing.
Weird little
He's just
puppet.
weird little fucking guy. And then the fucking twist of he's too old.
Yeah.
He's not ready. Like that Yoda can just flip that fucking switch and be like, look, I'm basically retired. I'm living my retired life and having a good time, right? And I want to help here, but you got to meet me halfway. And Luke's like, I'm sorry, what is happening right now?
I also get the fact that a lot of what Yoda does, you can't do with a puppet just because. But
Right.
the Jim Henson puppet, Yoda, to me, will always be better than CG Yoda. And I think a lot of people would agree
Well,
with
and
that.
again, I said that about, and he's got the lights. I don't give a shit if Yoda has a lightsaber. I would, if you told me I could only pick one version of Yoda, again, it would be zero question, hands down, 100% Empire Strikes Back Yoda. Because that's everything I want from him. It's the weird little funny.
It's the best
life
Yoda. Yeah.
Yes, little
He's so
sense of humor, but at
weird.
the same time, he's so fucking powerful still. And he's capable of, like, I don't know. I feel like he fits in better with the group that I've picked so far than any other Jedi I could have picked.
Yeah.
Or any
I
other,
just-
sort of Force user.
Little weird bastard.
It's one of those things. Like, I feel like half the time he would spend like judging everybody on your squad for being morons, and the other half of the time he would be like laughing with them, doing goofy shit.
Batshit
Exactly.
insane. Batshit
Yes.
insane. Yeah.
Yep. I think it's as good a combo as I'm gonna get. So yeah, I'm taking Yoda. He's legitimately one of my favorite characters, and if anybody from that side of the galaxy is gonna fit in with the people I've picked so far, it's gonna be him.
Yes.
Jesse.
Okay. See, I think this time I'm going to grab me a pilot. I know almost everybody that I picked so far can fly pretty well, but I'm going to go with a dedicated pilot in Harrison Dula.
All right, well, you got me. I have no clue who that is.
Was.
Yeah.
You know who
Yeah, you do.
Hera is. You stared at her ass.
Oh, I thought he said. I legitimately thought he said Harris Indula.
Hera.
No,
Yeah,
Hera
no,
Syndulla.
Lindsay's right because she's played by a Mary Elizabeth Winstead in the live action series, and
She is, in
so
fact.
many times they zoomed in on her ass, and I told Lindsay they gotta
did,
stop
in
showing
fact.
her ass. They've got to stop showing her ass. She almost made my list. She almost made my list.
Face mom.
She's a Twi'lek.
She's a Twi'lek. Thankfully, I already have another Twi'lek on my list, so you probably know where this is going.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like she's also a great diplomat, and that was so my choices for diplomat in order were Padme, Leia, and Lando.
All taken.
Because I need and also pilots, like all of those with Padme's not necessarily a pilot, but Leia and Lando obviously can fly.
Leia?
Hera's is a smooth talker and she can fly.
When did Leia pilot? When did Leia ever pilot?
On the forest moon of Endor.
What?
Oh, he's got you there. Okay, so she wasn't a starship pilot, but she was very good on that speeder bike.
She was,
Okay.
in fact.
All right. Sure, because people that ride motorcycles could just jump in a plane and get to going.
I mean, again, admittedly, not a starship pilot. Not that I know of, anyway. But
I'm
She
sorry.
could have been Jedi are real good at starship.
I guess
Jesse-
it's the difference between driver and pilot.
Jesse,
She's a good driver.
I'm being contrarian because the alcohol percentage is 40%. The proof. Or whatever. I don't know.
Proof's in the pudding.
Proof's in the Leia.
Sure.
All right, so yeah, that was it. Harrison Doolan. Go ahead, Shannon.
Sorry, I thought you had two for
Who's
some
next
reason.
on
You
your
don't.
list?
It's Shannon.
No, that's next.
It's Shannon who has two. Yeah, and you're making your last two picks here,
Right.
so make them count.
So my first pick is pretty obvious. I made the joke about the Twi'lek earlier. Everybody knows one of my favorite Twi'leks, and my Jedi pick, if not for Anakin Skywalker, is Jesse. Tell him who it is.
Wait, what?
She's a Jedi and she's a
Isla
Twi'lek.
Sakura.
Isla Sakura. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I've always
I
loved.
was honestly not paying attention.
Wow. Okay, I'm drunk and I'm paying attention.
I had to Google. I was Googling something. I'm sorry. I was Googling.
He's doing something.
Isla Sakura had a very small part, basically, in Revenge of the Sith, but the character was so beloved that they expanded upon her. She was a major character in the original Star Wars Battlefront 2, to the point that the main characters talked about how when Order 66 happened, they killed her quickly because they loved her and respected her so much they didn't want her to suffer, which is kind of sweet, I guess. Otherwise, she's big in the expanded universe stuff. She's just a badass fucking Jedi, and she's a Twi'lek, so she's sexy and badass, and there's nothing better than that. Other than Anakin, she's my favorite Jedi, hands down. I've always loved Isla Sakura. I have a statue of her around here somewhere. I'm a big fan. Isla Sakura, Twi'lek. Yes, good job. Now for my last pick. If I'm curious, if I said she is a female and I really love this character, she's a badass Star Wars character, I'm just curious, who would you think I would pick? I just want to know.
Cara Dune.
That's a good guess. I almost did that.
Look, the actress sucks, but the character is great.
The character was badass, and I also almost picked Mara Jade. But instead,
I love Mara.
I love Mara Jade too, but I picked, and I genuinely love this character, Jyn Erso, played by Felicity Jones. I love Jyn Erso. She's the star of Rogue One. Her father is the person that basically designed the Death Star, Galen Erso, and her tale is a very tragic one, and I love tragedy. That sucks for me because I don't do well with tragedy, but I love tragedy. Jyn Erso is a great character. She's strong-willed. She's someone that doesn't believe in the rebellion and doesn't believe in hope until she finally, at the end, kind of gets it and sacrifices her life to give the plans to the Death Star to the rebels. And dies, and I think the most beautiful death in the whole Star Wars series, with her and Andor hugging each other as the Death Star destroys. What was it called? Scarif? Was it Scarif?
Scarif.
Yeah,
that's the name of the planet.
You see it's almost like a nuclear bomb. You see the destruction in the background as they hug each other, and then it just sweeps them up. You knew she wasn't going to make it, but she was such a strong-willed character, and Felicity Jones just knocked it out of the park as her. I wish there were. We talked about it last night on Extras and Epilogues. I wish there was more. Hunter said Rogue One would have worked better as a 1 hour miniseries, maybe 4 or 5 episodes, and I agree. I wish we had gotten more of Jyn Erso because I love that story. But Jyn Erso is my last pick. I wish I had a figure of her, but I do not. I love her.
Oh.
Lindsay does. Yeah. So Jyn Erso is my last pick.
All right, Jesse.
Fair enough. All right, for my last pick, I was trying to think of somebody that I need somebody from the sequels because I actually did like the sequels. I feel like I'm becoming increasingly rare here.
Other than Last Jedi, yeah.
I've got a bunch of real big personalities here. I need a leader, so I'm going to go with Vice Admiral Amelin Haldo.
I love her. Played by Laura Dern, right?
Yeah.
So good. I loved her in that movie. Yeah.
She was fantastic.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that she is a big enough personality. She's a strong enough leader that she can kind of get everybody else in line. I think she'd stand up to Chewbacca.
She was my favorite.
Chewbacca would respect her.
Other than DJ, she was my favorite character in Last Jedi. She was that good. She was so good. And Laura Dern, obviously, is an amazing actress. She played Ellie Sattler in Jurassic Park. Just good all around. Yeah.
Good character. It's a great character.
Yeah. And sad too. She also had a tragic death, but a heroic.
And it was one of the coolest scenes it might be the coolest scene in all of the sequels.
Yeah.
The Haldo maneuver is just the entire theater was just fucking quiet during that, and so cool.
Bad.
It was so cool.
Yeah, I can only say it like Mac would say it. Bad ass.
Bad ass.
All right, well then I guess that brings it to me, doesn't it? Sorry, I'm putting the list together here at the bottom so that
it
I
sure
have
does,
everything.
buddy.
All right, so I don't have a droid, and I thought long and hard about taking R2 here, just because it's R2, man. I mean, he survives fucking everything, and I feel like he would fit really well here. Don't get me wrong; he'd be very good for that. But at the same time, I really, really love the imagery of this. So I'm taking Din Djarin, the Mandalorian himself.
Right.
Yes.
Because instead of taking care of Grogu, he's just going to take care of Yoda for me.
He's going to be real confused when he sees Yoda.
It's baby Yoda, man.
Because I thought, oh man, if I had Chewie, it'd be great. He could just put Yoda on his back. He'd be good to go, right?
Babysitter, we got hospice care.
Exactly.
Fuck!
Exactly. So most of my squad is very very human, very blaster heavy. Again, I didn't go into this with who's going to protect me or who's going to be best in a fight. These are people I want to hang out with. And Den is about the least, I guess, personable of all of them. But every group needs the one quiet guy who just solves problems, and that's who Din Djarin is for me.
Really?
When I was
He's the
picking
fixer.
K2SO, Din Djarin was actually the other person I was thinking of that was there's no way he's coming back to me. I thought Mandalorian would have gone long before now. But then I was sitting there thinking about it, I was like, what it made me go with K2SO and then not pick him at all. I was like, he's pretty into that whole cult thing. And
he's a little too into it at times, yeah, I'll give you that.
And having that guy on my ship, he problem solver for sure. He's the fixer.
I would really quick before anybody else says anything, I would like to congratulate Lindsay really quick on giving me the best joke of the weekend of it's not a daycare, it's hospice care. God damn, that tickled me.
That was very, very good.
Holy shit.
That's good.
That's fucking great.
That's good.
Now I can't stop thinking about Yoda on a hospice care, and it's killing me. It's killing me.
But I also like to think that Yoda would be the one who would kind of get Din to kind of come back to the side of normalcy and be like, not spend all your time with these people. You should. But yeah, no, he's just
look.
Oh, it's fast.
Right. But he's just a badass. He's got connections. He works well on his own. Again, you need a fixer, and I think that's who he's going to be for me. So yeah,
and also to peel back the curtain, played by the absolutely fantastic
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal, who's just a great fucking actor. So good.
Yep.
Yeah, that dude.
All right,
is,
Lindsay.
Like he's at risk of going like full Chris Pratt
Chris
with
Pratt.
overexposure, but
Yeah.
for now I'm still on board.
And
love
also,
Pedro
he
Pascal.
doesn't say dumb shit, so keep it up.
Yeah, it's always good.
Well, my
Lindsay.
last one, none of you know, so I'm dropping a link in the text for you.
I bet I know it is.
Okay.
But she is my fixer and connection person. She refers to herself as a liberator of treasures, aka she's a pirate, but her name is Fee Genoa, and she is a friend of the Bad Batch.
Yep, don't know her.
And she is voiced by Wanda Sykes.
God damn it,
That's
yes.
fantastic.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, I ain't mad about that.
Fucking love
Yeah.
Wanda Sykes. Yeah.
Fee is great. She is a pirate, but she's a good-hearted pirate as far as that goes. Like, in the Bad Batch, she really looks out for Omega and kind of becomes an extended family member of the group as far as that goes. She's got her own ship. She's a pirate. She does her thing. And she's just a cool character.
Wanda Sykes does not get enough respect. I remember Wanda Sykes from years ago when I was big into the comedy scene. And I know Hunter is a big fan of stand-up too. And Wanda Sykes is just a legend. It's so good. I didn't know she was in that. That's so cool that she's in that.
Yeah, no, Fee
she's
is
great.
such a great character. And I love the fact that she refers to herself as a liberator of treasures.
That very
One
much
of my favorite Wanda Sykes bits of all time is like, I mean, Hunter, the burgers ain't racist.
God damn it.
No, I mean, yeah, you gotta, why would you not just take them? They're free.
Also,
he's taking it back.
shit. Also, major points to the term liberator of treasures. That very much reminds me of Locke from Final Fantasy VI, where they keep calling him a thief, and he goes, "No, I'm a treasure hunter. I'm not a thief."
I do like that a lot.
All right, Tanner, close this thing out.
That's the
Your
last
final
pick?
choice. You just get one.
Yeah.
Well, I know I've picked two people who are really great pilots. But you know they're also better fighters. So I got to go with another charismatic pilot. I'm picking Poe Dameron.
Yeah, thank God.
I was a
glad
little
someone
surprised
did.
Shannon didn't pick him.
Dude,
Yeah,
he
he was on my.
Gonna pick Poe.
Dude,
He was on my short list.
if not for the joke
Same.
I was running with attractive women for my list and Anakin, because that was the end joke, Poe absolutely would have made my list. I have his X-Wing around here somewhere. He's great.
He was my backup. Had I somehow not managed to get Han or Lando, he was like that was my slot for him. He would have been third on the list for that.
He was the breakout star of the trilogy. I think the sequel trilogy. Oscar Isaac is so good,
and he's so fucking good in The Last Jedi in particular. I fucking love him in that movie.
Yeah.
It's so much fun just watching him go, we got to put a stop to this shit. And they're like, no, you don't. Sit down. We're busy right now.
Yeah, I thought there was a greater than zero chance that either Shannon or Lindsay would take Hera. And if either of them did, then yeah, Poe Dameron was going to be.
If not for Isla Secura, Hera would have absolutely been the Twi'lek on my list. Tanner, go ahead.
Ian Hera was on one of my lists there too, but I just
also
working my way down.
talking about really quick before I forget, because I'm clearly out of my mind at this point. Sabine Wren was on my list of damn, she's hot. All right, go ahead, Tanner.
Sabine Wren was on my list of enforcers.
Yeah.
I had Bo-Katan and then
Damn, she's
Crosshair
hot.
as another backup.
Tanner.
Sure. So yeah, no, I Poe Dameron was good in Force Awakens, but then Last Jedi happens,
Yeah.
and then opening scene with him versus in his little X-wing versus all those Star Destroyers.
You know what's funny about Poe Dameron is the same as Finn, is they were so scared that the homosexual connection would be drawn that they gave both of them girlfriends in Rise of the Skywalker, so you would ignore the fact that they could potentially be in love with each other. And Poe Dameron's was Zora Bliss, so you kind of full circled it right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Very much so.
And Finn's was
They
a
could have sold it
character.
in China.
Not a single one of you motherfuckers are gonna remember her name, and neither will I.
Rose.
No, it wasn't Rose. No, it was the black
Yes, it
girl.
was.
No, the black girl.
She
in
was
Rise of
she was the
Skywalker.
one in Last Jedi.
Oh,
Rose
you're
is
talking about
is in Rise of Skywalker for about 3 seconds.
Yeah, because the backlash was so extreme because people are fucking stupid. They gave him a black girlfriend in Rise of Skywalker that no one remembers. I can't tell you her name either. She was there.
She's also in that for about 3 seconds.
Yeah. Very bad. Very
Her hair
bad.
was cute.
She was awesome. For the 5 seconds she was in it.
Since all the choices are made, before we run down our teams, had I somehow not gotten Yoda, I very much decided I needed, like Charlie, I needed a wild card. I need a weird little guy on my team one way or another. And Babu fucking Frick was always in the background. He was so close, man. So close. I'm a little sad that R2...
He was so good.
Yeah. I'm a little sad that R2 didn't get picked at all, but I didn't.
R2 was on my list if I picked a droid, but it was one of those R2 or Chopper, and I'm like, I don't necessarily need a droid.
I've said it before. Sabine Wren and Mara Jade were on my short list, but if I were going to pick another man, after watching Solo, Tobias Beckett, Woody Harrelson fucking killed it as Han's mentor.
I really thought after last night that you were going to make that choice.
He was so good. So good.
I also had on my backups again in case I somehow didn't get much of the blaster folk that I wanted. I had Cara Dune on my list as a backup. That fucking character's great.
Yes, I hate that happened.
The character's great.
I loved her, and I can't remember his name. If I were just picking characters I loved, Carl Weathers' character. I can't remember his name because I'm drunk. But Carl Weathers' character.
I can't either.
I was so happy that Carl Weathers' character didn't die. Carl Weathers is amazing, and his character was awesome.
And then we talked about Ahmed Best, and it was funny you mentioned that because again, one of my kind of wild cards on my short list was Keller and Beck. I know he doesn't get much to do like in the actual.
He was cool.
Series, but,
that was
cool. A badass fucking scene.
Yeah.
And just to have a guy who dual wields lightsabers, protects kids and takes care of them, that would have been a really good Jedi to mix in with that group that I had.
I get that Star Wars
Karga, by the way, just
Grief.
real quick.
Yes, Grief
Karga.
I get Star Wars is weird sometimes, and sometimes it's not as interesting because it's so overblown. But when Star Wars is good, it's fucking great, and
it's like wrestling.
It's so good. Blasters and Jedi and space adventures. You can't beat that. I really wish Hunter had better access to the Old Republic because I would love to play Old Republic with Hunter. I think he would love it.
Someday,
especially when you're in a
back into the Old
group,
Republic.
it does rolls, and that's whose choice ends up going.
Yes, it's so good. That's so good. But hey,
someday,
Hunter, run us. Let's go through the list real quick, and we'll bounce out of here.
Yeah, you guys want to do your own, or you want me to read them?
We'll do our own. I guess I'm first. Okay. So. Yeah,
you're first. Yep.
My picks were Tali Lintra, which don't sleep on Tali Lintra. She's awesome. She's a great pilot, and she's the most beautiful woman in Star Wars. Jyn Erso. This is not going to be in order because I'm clearly out of my mind. Jyn Erso, Anakin Skywalker, Padme Amidala, and Isla Secura. Those are my list. 4 hot women and 1 hot as fuck man. I would pick a bear over a man.
All right.
That's a safe choice.
All right, my list is going to be, or is, Chewbacca, Qui-Gon Jinn, K2SO, Harrison Dula, and Vice Admiral Amelin Haldo.
There it is. All right, my final list ended up being Han Solo, Lando Calrissian, Leia Organa, Yoda, and the Mandalorian Din Djarin. Lindsay.
I have Obi-Wan Kenobi, Captain Rex, Ahsoka Tano, Wrecker, and Fee Genoa.
Tanner.
Let's see. I went with Luke Skywalker, Ben Solo, BB-8. Let me think here. What I pick? Poe Dameron and Zori Bliss.
I'm so happy for the first time ever. I could say I officially won this week because my characters are so fucking hot. They're so hot. Other people have robots and Wookiees, but I picked every one of them. Every one of them. You
sure did.
So hot.
Excuse you. I picked Poe Dameron, Ben Solo, and Zori Bliss.
You picked a robot with no exhaust pipes for me to stick it in.
Damn.
How do you know?
I've looked.
How do you know?
I've looked. I've tried.
You know those times we come up to your house for parties and Shannon goes inside, says he's going to the bathroom?
I look. Please end this show.
I only have a tiny little BB-8.
Please end this show. Yeah, but I have a small penis. Please end this show.
Again, thank you for explaining the joke out loud for me. God. All right, I'm going to do it because he clearly can't.
Do.
We had a great week worth of shows, and by that I mean this one and one other one. We did not have a new plays this week because we are on a brief hiatus. Next week, we start our one-shot Fallout campaign for the month of May. I am not announcing the name of it because that will give some things away. So if you're into Fallout right now...
The last one, was it with the Bang and Whisper? Bang and Whipper?
Just let me do it.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
The last one was called With a Bang or a Whimper. It is the pre-gen module that is in the Modifius 2D20 book for Fallout. So if you want to try it, if you want to go back and listen, you can at Podzilla1985.com.
That's pretty good.
If you want to try it, that's in their book.
It's pretty good.
We will be doing something different from that. We're going to use our existing characters for some of us, but we're going to be doing something different. So that's coming up starting next week, a 4-week adventure that will run throughout the length of May. So that's why we were off this week. Last night, we did do our first Star Wars show for the month. By the end of this month, we will be reviewing all 12 theatrical Star Wars movies. So last night, we got the miscellaneous stuff out of the way. That's the Clone Wars, Solo, and Rogue One. And next week, of course...
We reviewed the only absolutely god-awful, no redeeming qualities film in the Star Wars series, which was the Clone Wars. Sorry,
correct.
Lindsay.
I did mention that.
Lindsay. Yeah.
So
sorry, Lindsay.
Again, I agree with you. They can listen to the episode, but the movie and the series are two different things.
So bad.
100%.
So later this month on Extras and Epilogues, after next week, we will be reviewing the series 3 movies at a time, 3 movies per episode in universe chronological order. So 2 weeks from now, it's the prequels, then it's the originals, and then it's the sequels to close out the month.
So you really have to wait 3 weeks for us to complain like a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got time to build it up.
Yeah.
And next week, of course, is Fallout week. Tomorrow, I'm sure, tomorrow night, I'm sure we'll be doing some streaming, our kind of streaming horseplay we've been doing lately. But next week is Fallout week on PZ85 all across the way. So again, the Fallout campaign starts on Tuesday night on PZ85 Plays. On Wednesday, for the first time ever on Extras and Epilogues, we are reviewing a TV series. We're going to do the first season of Fallout on Amazon. And next Thursday on this show, it will be our original Vault creations, some of which are very in-depth.
Yeah, I got some more homework to be doing, apparently.
Wow, I already forgot that we were doing the
clear.
vaults.
No one has to do what I have to do. I just had a lot of time on my hands.
I almost suggested, because I already forgot that we were doing the vaults next week, which is a great idea. That's what started this whole thing. I almost suggested our 5 favorite Fallout songs from the radio stations. That would also be very fun.
Oh,
that would have been fun.
We should do that. We'll just do it. We'll do it the next week.
Let's do both.
Yeah.
Let's just make the whole show Fallout related. Fuck it. And then you don't have to listen.
I'm here.
Then you don't have to listen to me.
How about we do 3 songs? That way you can do the vault, and then we can do the songs after.
We'll do our favorite 3 songs for the show plus the vaults. That way you don't have to listen to me, Jesse, and Hunter bitch about politics. So it eliminates it completely. Good job.
There it is. Yeah. And that's it. We did it. We done it. Fallout week is next week. Star Wars on Extras and Epilogues for the rest of the month, and streaming horseplay Friday nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
There it is. We did it. It's
That's
done.
it. Yeah, we'll be out of here. Make sure you go listen to last night's Extras and Epilogues where we did record and review those 3 films. 2 were great, 1 were bad. We'll see you guys next week with all new episodes. Until then, for myself and for Jesse, for Lindsay, for Hunter, and Tanner, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to Heartland Gaming Convention for sponsoring. We'll be talking more about that in the next coming weeks, and we'll have a special show from there on June 1st and June 2nd. That's going to be a lot of fun. Until then, for the show, thank you, Shelby. No? All right. Jesse, take us out.
I have to do it.
Hey, Jim.